Speak with you about fleeing abuse. I just talked to the representative here. I'm sorry, what was your name?
Claudia.
Claudia.
Okay, you're at safe now?
I'm sorry?
If you're safe right now.
I'm in a domestic violence crisis that has involved the government, and they keep protecting my abuser and have made it impossible for me to flee, and enlisted organizations to deprive me of services or sabotage them, and have even taken my freedom trying to flee abuse that they're enlisted in.
Okay. And were you needing shelter from us or?
Trying to get direction on what you guys do. I need the help to flee it. So I've been deprived of that help years.
Okay, so we only help with temporary shelter, counseling, and there's peer support. We do have legal, but our legal only helps if is children involved and the children are being kept from you.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Okay, so he's not letting you see the children or anything like that?
Right.
Okay, so what I can do is I can put in a legal referral for you. Is there have y'all been to court before or no?
He has bought off courts and made it impossible for me to combat him. He's really powerful and wealthy. So I haven't been able to combat him because he's buying off everyone in my environments to keep me in my abuse. And he's using government officials to, be able to complete those tasks and fulfill his needs. He's using law enforcement and authority figures to enforce his crimes and abuse.
Okay, I can put in a legal referral for you, and once I put in a referral, they can contact you back to see if they're going to be able to take your case.
Okay. What's your name?
Lucy.
Okay, and what is your position?
I'm a sex line advocate.
A what?
So a sex line advocate. I just answer the phone.
Okay.
And do referral.
Okay. How do I combat it? We didn't do a safety plan or any direction. I thought advocates called police departments and went to advocate for the person and help them with safety plans. But, since I got arrested and assaulted at New Beginnings, none of them will do that for me. They won't be honest with me about services and leave me in my abuse at all locations I'm at. Police used to come personally and punish me for trying to flee abuse. Now they just enlist locations to sabotage services or flat out deny it.
Okay, I am sorry to hear that, but like I said, I can do a legal intake form for you to see if our legal would be able to help you with your case that you have going on.
Is there a particular reason why they just won't help? Why do we, for all of us, there's never definitive since my abuser has been involved? So now they have to see, and when they see, I never get them. But I didn't foresee that everyone had to see, and then no one would ever get the services. Why the legal just wouldn't help, but every location has to see. Now that, first I would get assaulted and arrested and removed from the location and the police would come. Now every place has to see instead of just giving me services. It's like a red flag.
Okay, well, for the legal, I can't say. Now, you wouldn't get denied for services if you're trying to come in for shelter. We would put you on a wait list for that. But they only take so many cases, so that's why I'm saying I don't know if they would be able to. We don't promise anything that we can't do.
Yeah, it's been impossible, because used to be that women were fleeing, didn't have to wait 7 years to get nowhere. Advocates would place them in a safe environment, but they have to see, and it just really doesn't pan out and don't happen. So used to be advocates made sure you were safe, but now it's impossible. They don't. They leave you in it.
Okay, and I do apologize for what you're going through, but do you want to go ahead and do the legal intake form?
Advocates refuse to be advocates. I don't know how to combat it. We didn't do a safety plan. You didn't give me direction. We are not doing a police report together.
I'm not. Are you there with somebody that I can maybe speak to get some more clarification?
I'm not quite certain what you mean. We're still deflecting on the fact that I'm still left in abuse. Calling a domestic violence organization.
Okay, so I'm asking, all right, I can sign you up to get you on our wait list for shelter. I can also do the legal intake for you for legal.
Okay.
I'm not sure what else you want me to do,
I
ma'am.
just know that it's dangerous for my abuser to make it impossible for me to flee my abuse. That's dangerous, very dangerous. And I'm not saying that's what he's done here, but he's done it years, and evidence of that is assault and arrest for being in a domestic violence support group. So I don't know how to combat my situation because I'm denied advocacy and direction and safety plans and the police accompaniment and all the other things that come that with domestic violence advocates. I'm denied that case management in all locations. So they want me to have the knowledge that they have gotten degrees and make a living by directing people on what to do to flee abuse. They want me to already have that knowledge. And if I don't have it, like I haven't had because I haven't went to school for this, they're therefore leaving me in my crisis because they refuse to direct me and advocate me. They ask me what I want and what I need, instead of advocating me and directing me on channels that I need to take to flee abuse. Since that's deprived of me, I'm trapped. But at first, I was getting assaulted and arrested for trying to flee. You there, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
So
I,
I'm sorry.
I just don't know what to do. I'm a hotline advocate. I do the resources to give you. I'm filling out the referrals. I don't know what else you would want me to do.
I don't know what you offer.
I'm not denying you the help. I'm trying to get these things done for you. We have to complete all the paperwork here. If I wasn't completing the paperwork, that would be denying you, but I'm not.
So what do you do? What do I do about my crisis? We have one advocate I'm in front of and one advocate I'm on the phone with. Did she hang up?
She said her name was Lucy, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a pattern.
she said. Okay.
I don't know why she would hang up, and there's a
What?
serious domestic abuse crisis that involves police department. That's pretty serious.
Do you have a case open? Because she needs the case if she's doing the referral. We need a case. We need his name, his date of birth. She didn't
Yeah,
ask for any of that.
I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to get help.
You said that it's stalking, right?
Yes,
Okay.
and it involves government officials enlisting parties to deprive me of services to keep me in my abuse and torture years. And then they're abusive like she just was and minimize my value by hanging up in my crisis. That's abuse that I've repeatedly had to endure if it wasn't assault and arrest for trying to flee.
Supervisor, though, 'cause that's nuts. And most of them, they have to talk to
Yeah.
their supervisor.
So
That's nuts.
what happens? See, my abuser is sadistic. So in my environments, he loves me to repeat the trauma over and over again for torment. So I went over it with you, then I went over it with her, and then I have to. He even does that with police reports.
Yeah.
So I go over a police report, then someone else comes in and makes me repeat myself again. It's a form of psychological abuse. So now I've repeated it two times, and this happens in multiple different environments. They have had, in Malice had me repeat myself 4 times.
So what I'm doing right now, while we're speaking, seriously, this is the first time that one of my coworkers do that, and oh my god, I'm blushing because it's embarrassing.
I experience it all the time. Like I said, it was as extreme as assault and arrest, punishments, police coming to bully me and mistreat me, and haven't had accountability. Obviously, if the government's involved in your abuse, it's pretty serious.
Yes.
And then you have to be punished and mistreated for not wanting to be forced to be in a crisis like that. It has to be an enormous amount of psychological abuse. You have to endure it. It can't be stopped. That's what the parties around me want me to believe. But I told this not only because there's reckless driving, when I ride with people, there's cars coming from multiple different directions, and it happened to me driving my own vehicle, and now it happens on buses. And now he's so sadistic he enlists bus drivers to drive reckless. Well, they knocked me out of my seat. They knocked a mother and her child out of the seat.
I send that one.
So that's pretty serious. Police won't do law enforcement. If anyone were to monitor the buses I'm riding, they would have evidence that someone would be able to convince bus drivers to drive reckless because I'm on the bus.
Yeah.
That's pretty serious.
Yes.
But it's been unaddressed, and I call these domestic violence organizations, show up, and they all cover for it, which is even more serious. Conspiracy to violate rights is a felony charge. But yet people haven't been accountable for being accomplices to that crime.
And you said that
I have, there was a scheme that first they committed a crime and kept me away from my son. And I was denied law enforcement to get, there was a strange event with my other son and he was afraid to tell me something, my oldest son, an adult. So the bank deprived him of funds in his account and his job would not give him his payroll check. So it was strange and he wanted to tell me something. He said the police was hassling him. I didn't believe him. So eventually he was set up and then I put him out because he was acting like he was on drug and erratic, but someone was enticing my son to do things. Okay, so then that one was out the way. We had a very close family unit. My kids meant a lot to me and people know that I'm a mom there. We had sleepovers, went to SeaWorld, so people know how we are as a family unit. So then that's one child out the way. So with my second son, a coach called and said that he was going to get my son scholarships and all this kind of thing and have him move back up to our past area that we live. Well, when I got my son up in that area, he was being deprived of me and kept from me. So I called the police trying to get him back, and the police, Marion County Deputy Dude, tried to set me up and would not do an investigation for why my child was being taken from me. So Roy Barker in Cass County, I told once again that I did not have access to my legal custodial child. The police department would not give me access to my legal custodial child. Now he has been brainwashed and, manipulated and won't give me, I don't have access to him. So now they had to do another scam with my daughter. So the first scam was to set me up with a test for school teachers that were abusive to my child. And then the CPS worker named James Hastings. Well, they got caught in criminal activity in their lives. So then they had to be eliminated from the situation. So plan B was to get 255th District Court to take, they took bribes and then con that my rights were terminated, but they won't tell me why. They have some kind of con for neglect, but there's no evidence of neglect. So they won't tell me what the neglect is. So they terminated my rights. Now the con is with no CPS investigation because they had to eliminate the other parties that incriminated themselves. So since they eliminated the parties that incriminated themselves, now their con is they terminated my rights with no evidence and won't supply it. So I've been trying to fight them. I'm not a rich woman. And then I have repeated identity theft and other scams to keep me from funds. Each time I build up a nest egg, I get put out of an environment forcing me to get hotel rooms and buy my own food and things like that. It's a repeated pattern I have to endure because I've been a saver most of my life. And I'm known for being a saver. So they know it. So they set up schemes to deprive me of funds. Whenever I get on my feet, they set up a false arrest to take clothes, take cars. And then I've had my windows busted out, robberies, thefts, all kinds of things. And I'm denied law enforcement for all of it. Strange people used to come in my house. I'd have bra and panties on. I had to keep the door locked. Yeah. So then I heard someone come in and they wouldn't announce who they were. And I was in a compromised position. I wasn't dressed. Somebody was telling me what I was doing online. The police department, Itasca Police denied law enforcement for that too. And I said, please check for hidden cameras, and they wouldn't. I called multiple times so I could live in an environment where someone was monitoring me. I had mysterious things come up missing in my environments, money that I had hid. No one knew. It was me and my daughter, personal clothes, like panties and different things that came up missing. And I had a new washer that broke down mysteriously. Yeah. I'm really, really particular about washing clothes.
Oh, yeah.
So this new washer I bought broke down mysteriously. Whoever I was calling on the phone was trying to charge me money. Everything that I had in my account was $80, but it was supposed to be free. Whoever I was calling on the phone said I didn't have $5,800 that they had took for Attorney General child support payments. But I did have the $5,800. And they said that I wouldn't be getting it. But when I wrote a letter to the 255th District Court saying that I didn't get the funds from from her dad's lump sum Social Security payment, Then they had to supply the funds that they tried to withhold from me. And prior to that, they withheld $3,000 Attorney General. I've been robbed of IRS stimulus payments and tax returns and Social Security payments and mail.
This is crazy.
Yeah. And then what people do is hang up to cover for it. That's pretty serious if someone is able to abuse that much power and use the government to conspire with its abuse. But, a major key is enlist all parties to be accomplices and leave me in it and deprive me of any assistance. Have no compassion, no love, support, and actually sadistic and punish me for trying to flee. That helps with, fulfilling the criminal activity.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I'm gonna do the referral for the legal. I already sent it for our peer support, and she can. Even if she tries to send the referral, there's questions. We have the same form. How do you heard about SAFE Trinity Center?
Mm-hmm. No, security keeps changing her post. She was over there, and now she's over here. Right by us. Oh, security?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I was like, no. She's probably because they keep an eye for the clothes. Do you have any open cases?
I'm not questioning.
So legal question is about domestic violence, stalking,
and the child
victimization.
And getting access to my daughter that people committed crimes to keep me away from her and took bribes. You
want how to guide you for the protective order, criminal case because that's what they're doing. Okay. Do you feel comfortable sharing who is your abuser?
Yes, I do. I'm not quite certain, but I expect it to be him, but I just can't perceive that the government would let someone abuse this much power. Mm-hmm. So it makes me question what's going on. A lot of things I don't have knowledge of, because before I even knew that this was going on, I got locked in an apartment. They wouldn't let me out for a whole weekend. Then I got locked in a hotel, and I realized someone was doing it. See, someone had my kids.
That's not legal.
I know. So someone had my kids. I always had my kids. I've been in church the majority of my life. I haven't been a perfect person. So I already stated I was going to live it up while my kids were gone. I was going to go out with my sister to a club, which was something out of my character. Well, I got locked in my apartment the whole weekend. They wouldn't let me out. No. It was in Box Springs.
Okay.
I can't think of the name of the apartment. It may have been, was it Spring Oaks? I can't remember. So I realized that someone in my life's been pretty bizarre.
Wow.
Yeah, that hotels have been enlisted to defraud me out of funds.
That's, seriously, that's not legal.
No, they left me in it. And then when he came, I called him at Friday, 4 p.m. when I realized I was locked in. Shortly after someone picked up my kids for the weekend, which I said was not no common. So they said that they didn't have time. There was not going to people. I was really naive then. So very, very naive. But I guess you can say vulnerable. But anyway, so I was like, okay. So for some emergencies, I would have to cross over the balcony, which was like really not safe because the balcony was like maybe like a 10, 12 feet dip. So I had to crawl over there to get out for emergencies,
Yeah, no, that's not legal. That's all I can say.
I had to crawl over the gate.
I mean, they can't.
They did it. And they do a whole bunch of other things that are incredible like that. And then I had to threaten to call the police when I got locked in I think it was Super 8 in East Dallas. They locked me in the hotel and wouldn't let me out after I called an Uber. And they kept playing games saying they were busy. I said, I'm calling the police. So now they gave me a free hotel stay. Now whoever's enlisting these people to be accomplices mistreat me. And then the police come and remove me instead of me getting the freebies. Because I would call corporate and they would be appalled at my experience. Mm-hmm. Now they're enlisting the accomplices to punish me after they violated me.
Oh, wow. Man, Mama, you've been having it hard.
Yeah, and it's pretty, extreme. I've been
Especially your kids. You don't have your daughter with you.
No, and when my daughter had a meltdown, her
Man.
stepmom is very abusive and had bruises on her in the past. CPS and the police
And
department
they don't do
cover.
anything.
They cover for it.
Okay.
So my daughter had a meltdown because we were really close.
Mhm.
I was close with all my kids. We
Mhm.
had family meetings and different things like
Yeah.
that. So anyway, so she had a meltdown. So the stepmom said she was going to give her away to CPS. Now my daughter's not safe to show the pain and suffering that the government as well as stepmom has put her through without extreme punishments of being given away. So she has to pretend like she's not devastated by what the government has done to keep her away from her mom for profit, or she'll be given away. That's extremely psychologically abusive for my kids to witness a government and army full of accomplices conspire with their abuse to leave them in it, as well as their mom. Has to be very psychologically damaging, as well as for me, to see the armies full of heartless people that take away our value for profit or for whatever reason that is, and I'll as well punish us for not wanting to be violated. Punishments.
Mm-hmm.
Like the lady that just hung up in my face. Punishments like that.
On both sides. Because I didn't.
Well, it's been, like I said, there was an assault and arrest. Then at New Beginnings, I went to the Plano location and the police removed me there. And there's multiple times I was speaking with victims advocates. They got phone calls and got busy in the middle of me speaking with them and never came back. And, the police used to come until I started recording the interaction.
Mm-hmm.
And now they work behind the scenes to make sure they're on payrolls. Multiple different parties enforcing I don't flee abuse. So I experienced the hang-ups and I experienced schemes were busy and people sabotaging knowledge to keep me from any kind of possibility to escape. Not only knowledge, but all services. Because it's being enforced by the government that they can't help me from location to location.
And right now, Ms. Clark, do you have a safe place to stay, or are you being sent on the streets?
Right now, I'm in a homeless shelter, but I would like to be in a domestic violence shelter, which you can see if my experiences are as extreme as they are, it's not safe for me to be there. If all organizations want to conspire with my abuse and leave me in it,
Yeah.
that's not safe for me or my family. If I've been assaulted for trying to flee, if hotels are defrauding me out of funds and all those things are going on and I get gang stalked, that's not safe. But yet nothing's been done. In this country, we're supposed to have rights. And robbing one of those rights carries consequences that people have yet to get.
Protective order. That's what they're asking. Now the family shelter, which unfortunately that one is where, for example, like if you consider a single, you probably would share with somebody. But as well, we have the community shelter. The community shelter, they put our clients in different hotels. So some of the clients, they will prefer that one because it's private, it's their own room, nobody else is there, they don't share kitchen or restroom, and especially restroom because we can be very picky on that.
Okay.
So it depends on what opening. I'm gonna get in contact over message with the supervisor because that was not nice, and I'm gonna add my supervisor. And I just want to make sure that if I call again, you go through the supervisor to get on the wait list because if you're in a shelter right now, there can be a possibility that if there's an opening, they'll call you, and then you just go directly to the other. So yeah, and
But here's the problem. No one will give me feedback, and it's still sabotaged. Why there's trained people, advocates, that are refusing to give me knowledge and refusing to give me direction to hold this man accountable. I don't want to just be housed because he's not being put under control. I do want the housing, but if people are scheming together to protect the man in my environments that are supposed to be safe, that's not safe.
And does he know that you're not safe?
Well, if people are manipulating and hanging up in my face to protect him and depriving me of information and depriving me of advocacy, he knows and are controlling him. If people are protecting him low key and don't want me to get information to protect myself from him, he knows and controlling them. because some kind of way each party, just listens but don't do their job as being an advocate.
Yeah.
They just leave me in it and have degrees on protecting women, but don't refuse to tell me how to protect myself or help me be protected. So he's controlling them. Why else would women protect my abuser if they're not being controlled by my abuser?
Now, you said that you've tried to make reports. Have you tried them here in Austin?
I'm just not getting direction on what I can do as a safety plan. I have made reports.
Okay.
But advocates won't do their job and do accompaniment. So we could do the report together. They leave me alone and don't want me to be a support system. The number 2 reasons I thought for women not fleeing is they don't have shelter or support system. And if an abuser can manipulate that and keep that party from that, even at domestic violence organizations, that's pretty serious. So they won't do the police accompaniment. If police are denying law enforcement, like I inform you, no one's trying to go with me to do the police accompaniment. That hasn't happened at any other locations. No one is trying to, call back and see why police aren't doing investigation like they're supposed to. So obviously my abusers are controlling my environments, which is even more unsafe. So I'm still not getting direction on if the domestic violence organization will give me the treatment that they give others and do the police accompaniment. If they're not doing the police reports, the advocate's supposed to go with me and do the police report with me.
I think the girls at peer support, they do that. They can go with the client if they need to go to make reports for the protective order.
And then if they see that the police are not doing the investigation like they haven't been, then they would be a witness that this party's being denied law enforcement. A lot of local locations have lied about putting the party in victim witness because the government's denied me witness protection because my abuser's controlling all these people, he's forced me to be a government witness on multiple parties. And government witnesses are tortured. There's a torture campaign for government witness. So my abuser has enforced that now I'm a government witness because he's enlisted so many government officials in his abuse. So what were the 2 referrals for?
The one, it was for our peer support. I know, let me just double check, because I know that they can go with the client if they need to. Sometimes if the client has court cases and they need somebody to go with them for support, and they'll go.
Okay.
They go with the client.
But we haven't got a lot of direction on what you guys do. What in your position, you're advocate?
I do the coordinated assessments. So I can ask more on everybody so I can guide you what to do. So I'm going to start with the supervisor because if not, I know myself. Okay. We need to involve that because that was not nice. Okay. And I'm going to get with my supervisor first.
So then I have to repeat the same thing to her?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm going to start by messaging my supervisor.
Okay.
Very little information because they're going to end up asking us and we don't want you for you to repeat yourself. So I send that one. If they have more questions, they'll let me know. And then, of course, I got your number. I can get in contact. But for legal, they're going to get in contact with you. I put that you don't have any case, but you need guidance on several topics. Protective order.
So you can't flee today? A serious domestic abuse crisis, it can't be done?
The only thing is that they will not answer me right away. Me.
So you just I've just been left in it. So what is the point of coming if women can't flee abuse? You came to this organization and you just leave women in it?
We try not to, but with our programs, different programs,
you can't get anyone on the phone? You have to email them? You have to? If it's serious and my life's in jeopardy and there's been hit and runs and law enforcement is conspiring with the abuse, as well as every other environment I'm in, that's serious. Bus drivers driving reckless when I'm riding them, that's serious. Well, yet and still people just leave me in it. They have to email, we can't get anyone on the phone, people are hanging up in our face. year after year when you're not getting assaulted. If you get assaulted and arrested for attending a domestic violence support group, that's serious. I don't know why security is playing a movie when most of the people left. It didn't have that on the schedule. It kind of drowns me out speaking. So the only thing that I'm being offered is legal and shelter, period.
I have, for the counseling, you would have to call, unfortunately.
I'm just asking what you're offering.
And then I have Strong Start. So Strong Start is another program. Let me just open it up.
This is my second time asking you, and I really didn't get clarity on what you were setting me up with.
With legal, that's one.
Okay.
And peer support is another one. Like that's the I think that's the program that can help more, like for you to have someone to go with you on places.
Okay, and
so I feel those they can.
Okay, so the organization is offering me legal and peer support.
Yes.
That's it.
I have counseling if you are interested.
And domestic abuse counseling.
And domestic abuse.
Okay, so as for you and your expertise, that I get nothing on how to protect myself against the government, no victim witness information on how to go with me to get in witness protection, no information on organizations that can combat police being accomplices to that party's abuse, no direction on that, period.
Unfortunately, that's only legal.
Those
are the experts on.
But we can't get them on the phone. We can't get them on the phone.
With legal, no.
Okay, I have to. We cannot go in person.
In person, the ladies they have their own office, and it's not in our. It's not in our location.
Do you have locations for me to go to legal? My phone calls are controlled and I don't get them.
Oh, okay.
My phone's hacked. He is allowed to do that too.
Let me ask my.
But I'm not getting any direction or education on how to combat this or what the organization can do at our organizations. They just don't want me to know anything. But they're advocates. And they think that I'm supposed to believe my abuser's not controlling them, which endangers my safety. If someone is not mentally stable, continues to be allowed to run the government, I don't think that that's safe for anyone. If you can entice IRS to defraud someone out of funds and Attorney General and make everyone in my environments accomplices to crimes, that abuses all my environments. Conspiracy to violate rights is a felony charge. And for the government to enlist everyone in my environments to become accomplices, I don't think that's safe for anyone. And then not only that, for harassment, which is armies full of other charges.
I need someone to answer, but
we haven't called anyone back. We're just emailing.
No, I'm trying to get who's available of the supervisors for our safe line. Nobody's answering me. So
maybe we should call.
I don't want for the same lady to answer me.
It just has to go over our head and speak with the supervisor. If they're not answering you on the email, then maybe we can do it over the phone because my life hasn't been taken seriously for years. That's why I've been left in it so long. Or my children's life, when the car hit my son. And then my daughter being stuck in abuse that the government's enforcing, and CPS included. And family courts. I don't think any family deserves that, no matter what race or past they've had. So I had a friend, and then the car sped up like it was going to hit my friend. I was visiting my daughter briefly because I'm not allowed to see her, and they won't let me see her, period. The court was so crooked, they put in there for us not to have any contact, even over the phone, with no justification. So anyway, I was seeing my daughter briefly, and the car hit me deliberately. And then after they got caught in lies, some kind of way my insurance company was enlisted to cover for it. Because I said I can't get law enforcement. And I thought, I was so distraught. But the man cursed me out, was very volatile and abusive after he hit me. So the adjuster said, yes, he got caught in lies with me too, but no one would pick up law enforcement for someone deliberately hitting me. And then hitting my son.
Hi, Rachel. It's Claudia. I'm calling from Trinity. Or your safe line and Lucy answer, and literally hang up on my client. Minutes ago. And client is looking for more information, and unfortunately, Lucy couldn't help her with that. She doesn't feel comfortable anymore sharing so much of what she already told me, but she needs guidance on how to get a protective order. I already sent a referral to.
I can talk to her.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Here you go. Her name is Rachel. Supervisor.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. What was your name?
Hi, I'm Rachel.
Okay. What I was expressing to her is I've explained my abuse with my crisis with her. I explained it to my crisis with the party that hung up in our face. And for years, my abuser is sadistic, and he likes me to repeat myself over and over for torment. And when I have to do that, it's a red flag that he's controlling my environment. So I thought she was going to go over what my experience was. But I guess it's not that I didn't feel comfortable. It's just that it's abusive to relive trauma over and over again to get nowhere, year after year. But I thought she did not give you the information on my crisis like I thought she would do. So the crisis involves the government, stalking, financial abuse that's extreme, government entities that you listed with it, hotels. I get gang stalked daily. There's reckless driving and different things. Cars gang stalk me and come at me to try to scare me, and I have evidence of it. They do it on buses and multiple different other vehicles I'm riding in. So I was asking her because the police department came and assaulted me and arrested me at New Beginnings. They're calling my name with security supervising it. So they assaulted and arrested me at New Beginnings and then came to Plano to interrupt. And so when I started recording, then that's when they started and listed the locations to deprive me of services because it's enforced by the government. So I haven't been able to flee in all this time with all these serious things happening. I informed her that money came up when this man was committing voyeurism crimes, and money came up missing, petty things like I had a job that was physical, and I needed certain kind of shoes, and one shoe came up missing. I could not find any. That's not uncommon for me. So anyway, I was forced to buy new shoes in a financial crisis already. And then other petty things came up missing. People came in randomly, some when I wasn't dressed, period, and then wouldn't say anything. Then I reported it to the police, this suspicious, strange behavior. I never heard of gang stalking. They wouldn't do investigation. I had a robbery. My car windows busted out. They wouldn't investigate any of it. False statements all over the community, ostracizing us in this community. So I feel that that's pretty serious, and for people to repeatedly violate my value as well as my family's value by scheming year after year in a felony charge of conspiracy to violate rights, keeping us for services to keep us subjected to this kind of torture and abuse that we've had to endure. This is extreme. And for people that are crooked, have racked up criminal charges for themselves, and enforces locations to not give them accountability for their criminal activity by depriving me of services is serious.
Absolutely. I'm so sorry for all that you've been through. How can we support you today? It sounds like Claudia mentioned you were seeking information about a protective order.
Well, I would like an advocate to be an advocate because I've been robbed of that. So the number 2 reasons I explained to her that a woman doesn't flee abuse is because they don't have shelter or support. But advocates refuse to be advocates. They have degrees, they have knowledge, but they don't want me to know anything. So they ask me what I need to flee my abuse, which I'm going to them to get services to get help to flee it. But they don't want me to know, so they say, what do you need? Trapping me in my crisis. So advocates are supposed to direct someone on avenues and channels that they have gotten degrees to help that party get a remedy from abuse, but they won't do it with me. They force me to advocate for myself, which is not working, me advocating for myself. It's not working to the degree I wrote letters, then mail was controlled. Now I don't get my mail.
calling from right now?
From my phone, my work phone.
See that I told you I get gang stalked. She caused a lot of problems in Fort Worth, and she's in here now. She had disappeared when I told her. When I informed her I recognized her. Now she's in Austin, and there's a man from Dallas that caused problems in Dallas that's now in Austin. So there's two people in my environments and other past environments that are here right now.
Okay, I'll tell the guy.
I mean, I'm not certain what she's doing here, but I told you I get gang stalked, and she was at PNS shelter in Fort Worth, and now she's here right now in Austin.
Okay. So I know you are meeting with Claudia. Has Claudia gone over the types of services that SAFE offers?
You asked me about what I needed, and then I informed you that I wanted advocacy, and I told you about the extreme form of abuse that I had to endure, and I'm not giving any definitives. Most of my services are sabotaged to keep me in it. So most of the conversations, my abuser wants to make sure that I don't feel safe or feel like there's going to be anything not hopeful. So I don't think that he has that right to continue to control every environment that I'm in. But nonetheless, he hasn't been held accountable. So, but I would like your supervisor. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You're a supervisor?
I'm the director of the hotline.
Director of the hotline.
Yes.
So what happened at Family Place, the Family Place pretended like I was calling crime victims compensation. And they hung up 2 times to cover for my abuse. City Square acted like we were calling all over the country to get help, and they all were denying services. If someone is calling counterfeits, like I'm not saying that you are, in multiple different other locations. If someone is calling prearranged counterfeits that deny me services, that is even more serious.
Okay. Well, I just want to make clear, no one's denying you services here. Okay. I know you called in with someone from SAFE, so I'm just trying to get an understanding what y'all have already talked about.
Can your supervisor? You're a supervisor, so what direction should I take?
Well, I think a good place to start is, do you have a place to stay?
Not that safe, no.
Okay, so that might be a good place to start. We have a shelter that provides housing for 30 days. Another place to start may be a protective order. If you have some information about the people that are stalking you. If you don't have information about the people that are stalking you, it sounds like you've already gone to police.
I have video footage. I have a lot of information. So I do have a lot of information on the people that are stalking me.
Okay, so that might be a second step as well, is getting a protective order. So getting into a safe shelter and then getting a protective order sounds like good steps. As far as one-on-one advocacy, we don't provide one-on-one advocacy unless you're in shelter.
Okay. So, is it catch-22s to exclude me from services?
No.
Okay.
No.
So, I'm ready to get whatever help you're willing to give me, because I've been robbed of it all these years. If I wasn't getting assaulted and arrested trying to get it. Or slandered and taken to mental hospitals.
Okay. I know you're calling. Where are you all right now? You're at the Trinity Center?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so where do you stay right now?
We've already went over that. You need to do that before I get shelter there? Were you giving me transportation?
When you said you went over
Were you
that
giving me
already,
transportation,
did you
ma'am?
go over that?
Were you giving me transportation?
If and when there's space, we don't have space to offer you today, but the first step is to get on a wait list for shelter. Are you wanting to get on the wait list for
So
shelter?
you just leave? I don't understand why domestic violence. Okay, so you're a supervisor. If domestic violence organizations allow my abuser to control them, what kind of part would they play in my abuse? Are they accomplices? Because conspiracy to violate rights is a felony charge. So if my abuser is able to manipulate my environments to lead me in as abuse, what kind of consequences would that be for people to repeatedly do that? To the degree of seeing police assault me and arrest me and do nothing to protect me when I told them that the police had involvement in my abuse. There's mandatory reporting. And if those parties don't do that and conspire with my abuse, what is their part? So we can keep ending this repetitive hamster wheel of all these different accomplices that have yet to get their charges. So now that it's impossible to flee, it's impossible for everywhere I go on the planet that has space. It's impossible to order the food that you're trying to order. All these things are impossible, leaving me and my family in jeopardy with absolutely no accountability for all these racked up felonies and charges year after year.
I'm not able to answer that. All I know is that we try our best to help survivors and safe.
Okay, so how are you going to help, ma'am, at this point? I've talked to several different parties, and this has taken a long, extended amount of time to get nowhere. So I'd like to concentrate on the services you're willing to give me.
Right. So that's what we're doing now, is getting you on the wait list for shelter.
Okay. How long is the wait list?
The wait list is based off of a risk, so your level of danger.
Okay, so if police are conspiring with it and domestic violence organizations and there's a hit and run and bus drivers are driving reckless, I've never heard of anyone experiencing abuse like that. Guns pulled on me, people threatening to tase me, pulled a knife on me, identity theft, IRS committing crimes, and an army full of other locations. So what threat level is that?
I'm not sure.
Okay, you're not sure and you're a supervisor? So how would I get services if there's different threat levels and you are not informed of the threat level? What's the point of having a threat level if you don't know the range of a threat?
Because we assess the threat after a screening assessment.
What have I been doing all this time, ma'am? All this time, over an hour? What's been done?
It sounds to me like you're tired of repeating yourself and you're tired of talking.
I'm just confused on the hour that I spent speaking with 3 people on what was happening when all this documenting what was happening this whole time.
Okay. Have you've been with Claudia for an hour?
All parties, and then the lady that hung up on me, and then she got a supervisor, and then I went over my situation with you, so I repeated myself to 3 parties, and I'm not sure what happened. All these 3 people I've talked to.
Okay.
What was happening, ma'am? Because if someone is having me call counterfeits, like they did at City Square, like they did at the family place, that endangers my safety. If they are calling professional people to deny and mistreat and bully me and play mind games, this jeopardizes my safety as well as my family's.
Then maybe we need a break right now.
No, ma'am, because I'm trying to flee abuse. Are you sure that you authentically want to help me? In the middle of my crisis, you want to take a break? And I repeated myself 3 times to people? Are you putting me in timeout for wanting services?
I don't feel like we're being productive right now.
And I'm being blamed. So are you denying me services, ma'am?
I'm not denying you services.
Well, if I'd like to get the services, ma'am, each time it's time for me to get services, people deflect and blame me for it. If I'm in a serious crisis, I don't think that we need a timeout. I think that I have more value than someone to put me on timeout for trying to flee for my life. I think it's
No one's
serious, and I'm
putting
sorry that this
time out.
domestic violence organization don't take my life or my family's life seriously and want to put me in a timeout for trying to flee serious abuse. I would like to
Are
think that
you
that's
on your
serious.
are you on your phone or are you on Claudia's phone?
I'm not quite sure what that has to do with anything. We're deflecting on my life is in danger, and you wanted to put me on
You've given
timeout
me
for
a
trying
lot
to
of
flee it.
information, and you've given me a lot of information. I can use this to place you on our wait list. At this point, that is all the information that we need. Now I just need some specific information like your name and your date of birth.
Okay, so you're refusing to
Have
give
you
me
already
any.
provided
This
that?
is fruitless. She wouldn't give me information. The party that hung up in our face that you've called, both parties that you've called are unwilling to help. And this one tried to blame me for it.
No one's unwilling to help.
Okay, well, I've been successful. I think it's like been an hour and a half. So whatever you need to do to get me set up for the services you're willing to offer, can we move forward and do that?
Yes.
Okay. And then you said something about a threat level. Then you didn't know the threat level of danger, which I thought that this was extremely dangerous if someone's enlisting bus drivers to drive reckless and cars to come at buses. But apparently people don't take that seriously or my life.
All I need right now is your first and last name.
Okay.
Before.
No. I haven't stayed at that shelter before. I'm not able to get in most shelters.
Do you have a phone number?
I'm sorry, why did you need to know that? Or did you need to know that to give me shelter?
Yes, that's the only reason I asked.
I'm at a homeless shelter right now.
Okay.
I don't feel comfortable giving me that. Once I get signed up for services and everything, then I'd feel more comfortable. Because sometimes people...
Just so you know,
Okay.
in order to stay on our shelter list, you do have to call in every day. Are you able to call in every day to check in?
Okay. So, to stay on your shelter list for women fleeing abuse, because my abuser wants to make everything difficult and scam any kind of way possible to keep me from getting services. So, you need me to call in every day and check in to get shelter?
Yes, that's our system. That's what we
That's your
ask
system?
everyone to do.
Okay. So, yeah, I'll get the number, and then I can call in and check in. Is there a specific time or just any time that day?
We're 24/7, so you can call at any time.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm not quite certain if I'm on a list. If I'm on a list, you put me on a list, then I have to call in every day. Boy, you make it's impossible for women to flee abuse now. So I don't really see the purpose of being placed on the list if you have to call in every day. But sure. Okay, so you're placed on the list. Then to keep yourself on the list, you call in every day. And it's impossible to get placed in a safe environment. It cannot be done, period. You cannot be placed in witness protection. You cannot get law enforcement. You cannot order your own food at a restaurant. You can't do it, period. So so you put me on the waiting list and then I have to call in every day. So what else am I able to get?
At this point, this is the starting point.
Oh, so you said that there was legal. Now you got your supervisor on the phone and she's robbing me of legal and other services that you said were offered. So now I'm left with nothing. I don't have anything. So I invested over an hour and a half to get nowhere. I'm being denied services. She's not giving me anything. Because the catch-22, I can't get shelter. You got to be placed on a waiting list for that. Then you got to call in every day. Now I've been robbed of the legal and the other minimal services you offered. I don't have any. I wasted an hour and a half to get nowhere. Then the other one hung up in my face. Both of our faces.
Sure.
So there's nothing. This is how I've been robbed of services. Like you can't get them. Like you can't place your own orders for food.
If Claudia's with you in person, she can provide information about counseling.
But you're denying it. I've been here an hour and a half to get services to get nowhere. If you refuse to sign me up and deny services, how can I combat that at each location? If that each location is
No one's
scamming to keep me in
refusing.
my abuse,
No
well,
one's
how do you
refusing.
combat something like that? I have three
Okay,
different people refuse to
Shauna,
sign me
at
with
this
services
point,
and playing games and punish me for not
at
wanting
this
rights.
point,
And am I being punished?
no, but I'm letting you know at this point on our hotline, that is what we do.
I don't know. I
We
have
put
three
people on
different
a wait
attempts to get
list.
services. What has been accomplished today?
I'm unsure. I don't know who else you've spoken to.
What's being done?
But at this
Why is it
point,
that hard to figure out what's being done out of the hour and a half I'm invested? No one's gonna tell me about services, period, on what I've done, what has been accomplished in the hour and a half. Period.
Rachel, on her, I already sent a referral to peer support, legal, and I just sent one for counseling. She's already on the list for the waiting list?
yes.
Okay.
So you come here
Okay, so
routinely,
I'm
and I
gonna.
can check
Only
back.
once a week.
Okay, so I can come check back with you because I can't get my calls. So I'll see when I come up
And
for the services.
I can check you in as well.
So no one on this planet, period, can help a woman flee today. You have to sit in it. No one on this planet will get me in a safe environment, period. By you having degrees and being social workers, it can't be done.
I'm not a social worker.
Okay, do you have a social worker? Do you have anyone that's a social worker, or is there a hospital I can go to? Is there any location on this planet? I think she doesn't really want to help.
Have the guys here maybe, because I know they're case managers. Here.
They don't. I don't know why a safe organization would refer me to a homeless shelter like they've done years.
Okay.
So I'm trying to
That's
get.
all we do.
I don't think that she has a legitimate interest in helping me. I think she's biased. I think she's probably controlled. So she's a supervisor over shelter, over the crisis hotline, director over the crisis hotline. So my question is there anyone on this planet, period, that will get me in a safe environment, period, in the country, on the planet, by you having degrees to help women flee?
I cannot say about the Earth, the planet, but in our organization, we're offering you the services.
I'm not you. It's a waiting list. That's a catch-22 to keep me in my crisis. So why would you not be educated? What happened to hotel stays? Why wouldn't you be educated if you're full to give the woman the right to flee her abuse and just leave her in it? If your shelter's full and you're a domestic violence organization and you claim that you're not compromised, what are the alternatives if you're full? Why would someone just leave women in a domestic violence crisis if they're full? So there's no woman that can address, no party on the planet that can address the person with the shelter issue. If a woman was beat up and battered and said, needed help at that point, you turn her away because you're full?
You go to the hospital.
And then you get turned away. So do I need to go to the hospital to try to get shelter? So if a woman is in a crisis and beat up and battered,
there's not always
I'm just trying to get clarity because I haven't received it years. If a woman is beat up and battered and saying, please help me, my life is in danger, so you're full and you just leave her in it?
You have to call the police or go to your local hospital.
Okay, so the police get the woman in a safe environment? Not the organization that's supposed to help women flee?
We don't have space for everyone.
I'm not being heard. I'm just for years, I'm not being heard. The thing that I'm trying to find out, why would domestic violence organizations leave someone in their abuse year after year? Is there anyone on the planet that is skilled in getting someone safe? Why did it all change when I got in my crisis? Why now are organizations all full and then deny that party of services or any kind of safety, which further endangers that party's life? This is not safe for all organizations to conspire with my abuse and rack up felonies to keep me from getting shelter. So are you saying nowhere on the planet, like it has not been all these years, can get me in a safe environment? It can't be done? I think she's compromised. So there's no social worker period with this organization.
Not right now.
Okay, well when
Not right now until you get services like for the shelter.
So okay, let me make sure I understand. So this is a domestic violence organization. There's no social workers you can speak with. Period. So how does a domestic violence organization function if you can't flee it with the organization? If you can't flee your abuse with the organization, how does it function? What's the purpose? The relevance? If someone comes to you trying to flee a crisis and you don't have social worker availability 24/7, like the internet says, how does it function?
Rachel, you there? Rachel.
She wasn't really helping anyway. She hung up
She
too.
hung up too.
So if people are having me call counterfeits like the family place, for giving my social security number out and all my critical information to people that also hung up that was supposed to be victims compensation, if City Square had me call all these people all over the place to get denied services, is that criminal?
No.
It's not criminal for someone to have me calling counterfeits, giving my social and all my information and all these parties over and over again and having me call counterfeits? Is that consequences for that? I'm not saying you did, but I know for a fact the family place had me call victims compensation representatives 2 times that were covering for crimes. And then I call all these locations for hours that are denying me services. So I'm not quite certain why people aren't being held accountable for all these felonies and other charges that are racked up. I have had identity theft, and I've had IRS steal from me, as well as an army full of other people. And I don't feel comfortable with organizations being enticed into criminal activity and conning me and having me call counterfeits and get away with it year after year. So I go through I spend wasted an hour and a half of my day, and it's in fact years to be trapped in abuse. And then people just listen, and then, and nothing's done. So, as my question once again, I'm not quite certain why the emergency crisis organization has no knowledge on helping someone flee immediately, as well as no other organizations that I've been to if I wasn't getting assaulted and arrested at them. And then they looked over that and ignored that and still didn't offer me services after that. So you help women flee but have no knowledge of a party that can actually place someone in a safe environment since you can't.
Trying to think. And then you said that it would be good if we try to get a hotel for you, or you just do rent a space from the shelter.
So the hotel, how does that work?
I need to ask if they can help with hotel stays, because we used to, but we stopped when the pandemic started.
So why would you offer that and then say that you stopped?
No, because I'm going to ask with Trinity Center, not with SAFE, with Trinity, to see if they offer that.
But see, that jeopardizes my safety.
Okay.
Because my abuser don't want me getting help with the domestic violence organization. His comfort level is if I can get it with homeless shelters. But for domestic violence organizations to be accomplices to my abuse, that makes them even more serious. To repeatedly get deprived of services and then your value minimized by hang-ups when you're reporting the serious abuse. That's psychologically abusive to have that kind of experience all over the place, day in and day out. It used to be terrifying, but I've had to normalize it because it keeps happening with no accountability. So we've had 2 hang-ups for serious abuse and parties that you call that seem to be covering for crimes.
I called.
Yes, you called. Like Family Place called, and like City Square called to get nowhere. Like MHMR called to get nowhere. So I can't combat people calling for help on their phones, and that I never get it. I don't know who they're calling for the help that I never get. But some kind of way, these people are dialing numbers that for people that refuse to help me all over the place. And I'm calling counterfeits on my phone, so all over the United States, so I don't get help there. But if my gatekeepers, the people that I'm calling in for help, going in to help, are compromised and having me calling the same people that are professional deniers of services, in addition to that are psychologically abusive and blaming me for their misconduct, then what is accountability for these people that are abusing their power and their position to keep me in abuse, not doing their mandatory reporting for reporting child abuse or reporting my abuse to any authority figure, not doing their responsibility, putting me in witness protection or guiding me or doing a company with me to get protected, denying me of services to keep me in my abuse year after year. What is that accountability? Because I'm going to parties for help that are trying to keep me in it. I thought that would be serious to have someone calling counterfeits, giving their social security number and personal information too. Why wouldn't that be charges? But yet people yet to get them. So, I've noticed a repeated pattern of numbers that are being called for people that I'm entrusted to help me to get nowhere but psychological abuse. And we're full. So you introduce the hotel voucher. Now you don't know if you have it. Social workers and no one you knew of any kind of way that I can be placed in a safe environment. Anyone that will do it. But prior, I was getting assaulted and arrested for trying to flee. Now everyone is confused and there's no way possible you can flee abuse. And I'm supposed to believe that it's not all related. I don't know why she's staring over here like that. There's nothing this way. The TV's that way.
And I need to ask the girls if you were gonna shop or you were gonna shower as well.
I'm sorry?
You were gonna shop for clothes?
Well, I would like to, more important is getting my life saved. And not having to go through these games and when my abuser's mad, getting put out of locations and him controlling all my environments and harassment schemes and torment and all kind of other petty mind games. I don't want my abuser controlling my environment and when he's upset or when I have the wrong outfit on or put on makeup to get put out. That's a crisis. I don't want to get a job and then he has a job scam so I can't work there. I don't want more voyeurism crimes. I want to have access to my children. Yeah. So the remedy is not closed and to deflect on the crisis that I'm in. The remedy is for these people to be held accountable that want to be accomplices to my abuse and leave me in it. All this is charges, and when are people going to get them? So for repeatedly, my value has been minimized. My children's value. She witnessed my foster brother screaming in terror at age 8. She's 14. We're still left in the insanity. I had to go out of Dallas because Dallas police kept giving me criminal trespasses to cover for the crimes. I went to Arlington and was arrested, slandered, and arrested there. They wouldn't let me go to court. They waited till I lost my apartment and car. Then let me out. Another arrest in Itasca. It took everything that I've had years, knickknacks, pictures that I've had decades. All robbed of all that. Can't get legal representation. Now we got a ranting party here. And we got the TV going to interrupt me speaking with you.
That was too loud.
Yeah, but the security's all around. They're just witnessing it, not doing anything about it. Letting her drown me out talking.
Somebody's screaming.
They're not trying to stop her. They want her to drown me out. That's pretty serious if a person repeatedly experiences that. But we're still deflecting on, is there any possibility that I can flee, period, today? Anywhere on the planet. From a domestic violence organization that gives someone 24-hour emergency assistance. And I'm not getting it. They won't do anything. They just want her to rant. They're just standing around. Security abandoned the place. Security's right there letting her rant. And staff. Oh, that's the same lady that behaves odd at the shelter. That's why I'm trying to get away from the shelter. She blocks my path and does other weird things and rants there. Throws things, scares me. Looks like the same lady. If I can't really see her from the side, but it seems like the same lady. It does. It looks like the same lady. I can't really see her. But if someone were to do law enforcement, they could see. Security, just 2 security guards and staff. They're not removing her. They want her to interrupt us talking. So, location after location, we have to pretend like the location's not conspiring with my abuse and leaving me in it. So whatever you guys are willing to give me until if the feds ever do anything about it, I just hope and pray. They do it all the time. There's been no accountability. This is what I've been left in. It looks like the same lady from the shelter that does all kind of strange things on camera footage.
I think it's the one that hit.
I just want to be safe, ma'am. And I almost, what has it been, 2 hours?
Yeah, we did.
And
2
we
hours.
still haven't got me safe. But if you're informed to not do it by law enforcement, it don't happen. Like it hasn't been.
Hope Alliance in Round Rock. Have you heard about it?
I'm just not sure why it's been impossible for someone to place me in a safe environment and not give me the runaround for all these years and tell me go to organization to organization, not get anywhere. What I'm trying to interrupt is the con and get someone that is going to place me in a safe environment because I haven't been able to interrupt the con. So what I want to do is I want information on someone that is going to place me in a safe environment and not con. That has a job task of doing it and not scam and have me go location to location to get denied services just to wear me out to get nowhere.
Because Hope Alliance, it's another DV.
You don't have knowledge of anyone that helps a woman flee at an emergency crisis?
On the spot? No.
Okay. So no domestic violence organization helps a woman on the spot. You have to sit in it, even if her life is in jeopardy. It all stopped?
I can't answer that. Other than that.
You're a domestic violence organization and you don't know how to answer if someone can save someone's life immediately? That endangers someone's safety. If domestic violence organizations now have changed the policy to leave the party in it. So if someone is in a dangerous crisis, you can't help them immediately?
I think we offer what we can offer, Ms. Clark, but something on the spot, we don't have it. Not like that, unfortunately.
Okay, so now emergency crisis domestic violence organizations, you're out of the hotel vouchers or it stopped, and none of them help a woman flee that day. You have to wait to flee.
And it sounds like the way that you're explaining it, it looks
It's
like
the reality. It's the reality. It's not, I'm just want the reality of it exposed. Someone fleeing for their life has to wait 7 years to get nowhere. And I want people to realize that these are felony charges that are repeatedly unaddressed. Hit and runs, guns pulled on someone, threats of being tased, the tormented to where you can't even order food is serious. And people have sugarcoated it and minimized what I've had to endure years in my family. A hit and run on my son that left him, and the police department cover for it. How emotionally damaging that is that for a whole army full of people to minimize this whole family's value for profit or for whatever reason they're doing it. While my family does have value and we don't deserve to repeatedly experience this. My daughter has value when she's witnessed the police department arresting her mom for profit. And then so for these people to not get accountability, they assault me and arrest me just for attending a domestic violence support group with no accountability. But some kind of way they have way more value than me. And I'm left in it by assaulting someone and arresting them for wanting to be safe.
Let me just double check on the voucher thing as well.
So when I try to flee, my abuser sets up punishments. So it's a conundrum. They cannot give me services because it's law enforcement. It's not going to happen until these people are held accountable. She can't. But does that jeopardize my safety? Why don't I have enough value to flee my abuse? Why don't I have enough value for these racked up felonies to have consequences? Why is it okay to break the law when you have badges and guns and when you're government officials? If you let my safety and my rights be compromised, like I stated before COVID, how does this infringe on other parties' rights, future rights? How can you not think that this is, I guess the best thing that I can say, compromise the whole Constitution? if you allow this to keep going on? What is the purpose of the Constitution? If you might as well throw it in the trash. If there's no accountability for it not, being fulfilled or for people to abide by the Constitution and the laws. Throw it in the trash for everyone then. If you do it for one party. I want to see about the clothes. They call me for the clothes. She has to ask my abuser for permission for me to get the hotel voucher. My abuser doesn't give me permission to order my own food. So how would I get permission for the hotel voucher? Why'd security leave? I told her, security, why did you leave? Oh, I wanted to talk to you, security. Security? She left? Me and my crisis?
Huh?
I told you to tell the lady from Safe Place I was getting the clothes. I've only been in there like 6 minutes.
Yeah, I couldn't even make her stay.
She did.
Why didn't you tell me?
Ma'am, she just left this, if you were the one that was meeting.
But if someone's in a crisis, why would she leave? I was only in there 6 minutes. She could have asked me to come out there.
I don't know, ma'am. She doesn't
That
want to
endangers my safety. Why don't we find out why she did it? Because this is serious and endangers my safety for this repeatedly to keep happening.
Well, this is what she left. I don't know if you want that, but that's what she left.
So she left me in my crisis? Survived strong start.
I don't know what all that means. You just have to give this to her.
But if what is the purpose of Safe Alliance being here if they're not giving people services? These are places to other locations, right?
I mean, there's mobile outreach here on their own, so they're not contracted with us or anything. She comes because she wants. All I can say, I mean, it's not.
Did she give any feedback on the hotel stay? She said something about you guys doing it because she didn't want to provide the services?
Not that I know, ma'am. We just got that sheet of paper.
Well, conspiracy to violate rights is serious as felony charge, if that's how serious it is. In some kind of way, location to location, refusing to give you services. That is serious, so serious as a felony. Okay, well, maybe there was a misunderstanding. They come back every week, right?
She's here every Monday.
Okay. Maybe we can get down to the bottom of why I keep repeatedly having experiences and people yet to have gotten their charges. They serve lunch here too?
No, that was at 10. We'll do a snack at 3:30, between 3 and 3:30.
A snack?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, no lunch?
They might still be serving at Caritas.
Okay. But you don't do lunches here? Because someone told me earlier you guys did.
Between 3 and 3:30, I'm not exactly sure what they'll be serving.
You don't know if it's lunch or snacks?
It'll be a sandwich. I think it's today. Just a sandwich and some chips.
Oh, is it Lay's chips?
They have Lay's.
Oh, I figured that they did. Thank you. They might be serving at Caritas. Now they have to scam a ban or criminal trespass to deflect on services they are sabotaging. You recorded our crimes. Now you're banned from getting services I was never going to get to begin with.